Hey everyone, Victor from Social Firestarter. Backlinks are obviously a very important part of every SEO campaign, and it is something that can really bring a lot of value in terms of visibility for a law firm. So today I actually want to break down some of the terminology that is actually going to help you better understand your backlink portfolio, as well as maybe understand the progress, or in other words, be able to understand how much progress you're making just by scanning through your backlinks and taking a look at them individually. So this can be a particularly daunting task if you've never done it. Obviously, it really does take an experienced professional to be able to produce a campaign with a very competitive backlink profile, and that actually goes ahead and takes out competitors. But that doesn't mean that you can't at least understand a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. And this is also, I would say this is also important for understanding the real value behind a lot of these mentions that are getting built if you are going ahead and doing your SEO work for your campaign. So I'm going to start here just so that I can pull out a random law firm to scan. So I'm just going to go for a large city so that we have more to look at. Let's do and we're just going to pull out a website to use as an example. I'm going to use somebody off of page 1 just because I would imagine they're going to have a bunch of links to be working with here. And okay, so this is just somebody off of page 1, and in this example, looks like they have a very steady amount of growth here for the mentions being built for the law firm's website. Now, I want to mainly, because there's so much you can really talk about here, I want to mainly describe the difference between referring domains. Let's go up here, referring domains, and then backlinks. These are like the first two counts that you really would be looking at if you're trying to see what the value is behind a website's visibility. But it can be a little bit confusing because I'm sure that you've seen plenty of marketing out there regarding people selling links. They might be just selling them as 100 links, 200 links. Sometimes you get a bunch of spam that's like emailing you about purchasing like thousands of links at a time. So I'm sure you can imagine, even without doing a lot of research, that not each backlink is worth the same. It's not like a currency where 25 is better than 27 links. You can't really say something like that. There's so much that is involved with each link that you acquire. Each link, or each mention, as I like to refer to them, they come from a different source. So depending on the quality of that source and the quality of their backlink portfolio and their SEO work in general, that's going to distinguish how much value it actually brings over to your website. And in other words, how much value that mention is even worth. So the main thing I want to explain in this video, without getting super technical about it, is understanding what the difference is between looking at your number of referring domains and your number of backlinks. I think this is a great first thing to really understand when you look at numbers like this, just because there's so many, and this is probably the best starting point to look at. So what is the main difference? Well, Ahrefs here, this tool, it's really helpful. This isn't the only tool that you can use. There are other ones that scan backlinks. I prefer Ahrefs just because they probably do the most crawling out there. They spend the most resources to provide this information. So As far as getting info that is accurate, I would say your best bet is going to be somewhere like Ahrefs. But even then, you can find a few glitches here and there, a few rare situations where it gets something wrong. So none of these tools are going to be perfect, but for what we're doing here, Ahrefs is going to be great. So this is the main thing that you should understand conceptually, I think, about this, is that each time you get mentioned by a different location online, you can get mentioned in a few different ways. So somebody could mention you once from, let's say, a blog post. Let's say they make a blog post and they talk about some sort of information that you contributed to. So they decide to go ahead and provide you a link. So they go and mention your law firm and they link to your website, and then that creates one backlink. That one backlink is coming from just one domain. So you could say that you acquired a new mention from a new referring domain, which generated one backlink. Now, let's look at a similar situation, but with a little bit of a difference. Let's say you contribute to a blog post and that person mentions your law firm, but they also go ahead and feature you on their homepage. So that would mean that you obtained a link from their blog post that you contributed to, but they also went ahead to their homepage, the homepage of their website, and gave you another link there. So that situation, you would have gotten you would have been mentioned from one new referring domain, right? There's one new domain out there that's referring your law firm. But in that case, they actually went ahead and gave you two backlinks. So what is the difference there? Well, you should understand that there's a little bit of the law of diminishing return. It does apply here. And Google does apply that in its algorithm. You can't just go to one domain, just one person, and have them link you 10,000 times. You can do it, but you'll probably get penalized because it's obvious as to what you're trying to do there. But is that even going to work? Is that going to increase your rankings? No. There's just not enough value from that getting mentioned multiple times from just one source versus trying to obtain just one link from new sources. So that's a huge conceptual thing that you should understand, and that is going to help you understand whenever somebody is talking about how many backlinks they have, how many referring domains they have. You can even go one step further and group up your backlinks not by domains, but by topic. So why would you want to do that? Well, maybe you have a specific relationship with like a news outlet, and maybe they are providing you mentions like ongoing because you're always contributing to them. So in that case, if you're trying to understand the value of your backlink portfolio, but you've got a lot of situations like that going on in your campaign, it's going to be much better if you actually group up the links by the topic so that you can understand, okay, I contributed this many times across this many topics, and it produced this many bundles or this many groups of links. That might help you understand the value a little bit better if you have that type of situation. But again, the most valuable way, and again, without even looking at all the other metrics involved, the most valuable way to really be building your links is to not really try and abuse the one source that you have or the few sources that you have, but rather obtain new and more new sources so that you can get fresh backlinks from different locations. That creates a much bigger effect as far as SEO, because you don't have just one or two different people mentioning you over and over again and spamming your stuff out there. Instead, you have all of these great different locations. Maybe they're all really relevant to what you do. Maybe they're all very authoritative and they're all individually providing you mentions. That's going to be much, much more valuable. And this is all without even going into the metrics, into like a deep look into that. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll make some other ones in the future that go into some of the other metrics. A lot of it can get a little bit confusing, but I hope I described this well enough for you to understand really what it means when people are counting different backlinks and counting the different referring domains. Because now you can kind of understand, you know, some other graphs, some other tools a little bit better. Let me know if you have questions. You can always drop those in the comment section below. And if you're looking for somebody to do your SEO for your law firm, check out lawyergmb.com. That's where you can find some more information. But for the other links, those will also be in the description section of this video. So make sure to check those out. That'll be all for this video. I will see everyone in the next one.